Welcome back to my pandemic beach house here in the Outer Banks. I've just been having the best time here. Check out the last video where I show other parts of this place. It really is the perfect rental for entertaining. So the kitchen, it's a full-size kitchen. It's pretty standard. I have everything I need, actually more than I need. There's pots, pans, cutlery, even a blender for that delicious acai bowl that I made earlier. So with the full kitchen, I probably should make something. So this morning, I had an opportunity to visit a wonderful fish market in a town called Wanchese. In the Outer Banks. It's a family-owned shop called O'Neill's.
Scales, we'll weigh them, put them in. Smaller fish go in these 50-pound cartons, ice top and bottom.
For Ashley, the days on the docks are long ones. He's worked here since age 15 or 16. That's about the same age as Caleb.
Till 4:30.
O'Neill's Sea Harvest is what you can call a one-stop fish house. It's located in Wanchese, North Carolina. It's in the Outer Banks. In the back where we met Ashley is the commercial part of the business. They supply fish up and down the eastern seaboard, from Boston to Atlanta and more. But the street-facing side is the retail market where people can buy the catch of the day. But before they go, most don't dare to leave without a meal from the restaurant.
Oh yeah, it's a great place to eat. The sandwiches are fantastic. The seafood's excellent.
And this joint is jumping on a Saturday afternoon, even during the pandemic. Which is saying something, because it's the kind of place that spreads from word of mouth and you have to use your GPS to find it. And it all started with Benny. What kind of fish do you catch here?
Oh wow, we anything that swims, we handle it, from shrimp to crab to blue crab to offshore fish, offshore bottom fish, tuna.
He spent most of his working life as a commercial fisherman, and in his early 50s, he decided to start a business.
Had I been a better fisherman, I might have stayed doing that.
Benny explains that his 3 children, 2 were in college and 1 was about to go to college, and he just needed more money, so he needed to do something different.
The start was hard because we didn't have any financial base to draw from.
Capital is typically the first and biggest obstacle for most entrepreneurs.
So my wife had an aunt that passed, and I think she left my wife and her sisters $18,000. And I said, baby, if you'll let me use that $18,000, I'll pay it back to you with greatest of interest. And she did.
And building a business in a market where there were already 3 other major fish houses is brave.
You would think they would try to ostracize kind of the new man on the block, but if we needed something, if we were to run short on the boxes to put the fish in or ice, they chipped in with help.
So here we are, 25 years later, and literally Benny's entire family works in his little, well, we already seen it's actually really big, fish shop.
My oldest son didn't go to college. He was working on the water, so he was the first to come in. And then as my daughter and my youngest son got out of college, they both came to work.
Yeah, and then their wives and spouses.
Their wives do work.
Yeah, so Ashley is Benny's youngest son, and Caleb, one of his grandkids. I also ran into Caleb's brother, Braden, and their mother, Lara.
Got it too.
My wife and I have always been real strong proponents of a strong work ethic. If you have a strong work ethic, you'll succeed.
But Benny's supposed to be retired now. Clearly, he is not retired. He admitted that he was, okay, quotey fingers, semi-retired, as I observed him working almost every part of the fish house that he built.
Oh, we didn't think it would be big at all.
Ashley says his dad did this so his children wouldn't have to work as hard as he did as a commercial fisherman. But these days, since business is going so well, they all are working pretty hard.
We're not real proficient a lot of these things, but it's been a blessing, and we're amazed.
So if you know me, if it's from the sea, it's not for me. Meaning, I just don't like fish. Never have, and I'm pretty sure I never really will. And it's mostly because of the texture and if it tastes or smells too fishy. So I asked Benny if he had a fish for someone who doesn't like fish, and he gave me these flounder fillets. So we're gonna bake this flounder with veggies, just the stuff I have in my fridge. Here's some other ingredients I have just in my pantry. Salt and pepper, always the basics for flavor. Seasoned salt, Old Bay would be better. I have some leftover Parmesan and garlic. And no olive oil, but I have some hemp seed oil. And if you're going to recreate this yourself, of course, you'll add the ingredients that you like. And it really works for flounder. I'm told it really takes on the flavor you give it. So that's great because it can be as simple or as complex as you want. So I'll spray some cooking spray on my parchment paper. It should be okay without it, but I want to get a little flavor and possibly crispiness on the bottom. Add your seasoned mix. And I'm just going to use a good amount of garlic. I really like garlic. And you can add, of course, what you want. And let's just use the rest of this Parmesan. That's a good use of Parmesan. So I'll put that in the oven and I'll set it for about 400 degrees. It should be about 20 minutes. Now let's work on these sad veggies. They were in the freezer, so I've defrosted them. And the trick to bringing them back to life is making sure that they're well coated with oil. And then you'll want to lay them individually on your cooking sheet. And I'm left to these baking pans, so that's what I'm working with in this rental. So I bake those for about 15 minutes. And then I give it a good broil to add a little crispiness at the top. So I have some bread because I made some sandwiches for the beach. And I'm gonna make a couple of slices of garlic bread. First, I put a couple slices in the toaster to lightly toast it. And I will lay some butter in the garlic and drizzle some cheese. I'm going to broil it for maybe a minute. So here we are, a beautiful baked flounder dinner for me and my guests. Oh shoot, my guests aren't real.